You know those stories, right? The ones about people who can sit out in the freezing cold and just by using their mind, generate enough heat to literally dry wet sheets on their backs? Well, that's not some comic book superpower. It's a real, ancient practice called Tummo. So, let's dive in and figure out how to tap into this incredible inner fire.
And to guide us on this little adventure, we've got some wisdom from our friend Zoran the dragon. From his point of view, we humans are kind of like toddlers just discovering matches. It's cute, but he's willing to give us some credit for trying.
Okay, so let's start with that legendary image. Tibetan monks sitting almost naked in the Himalayas, in the snow, meditating so intensely that they can steam dry these icy wet sheets draped over them. I mean, it's an incredible story, right? But it makes you wonder, how on earth is that even possible? And what's the real point of it all?
So what is Tummo, officially? Well, it's an advanced meditation that pulls together a few things: specific breathing, powerful mental images, and a crucial secret ingredient, compassion, all to consciously raise your body's temperature. But as you're about to see, just staying warm is really only a fascinating side effect of something much, much deeper.
That's right. The true goal here isn't just about surviving a cold day. It's a kind of internal alchemy. The real work is using this inner fire to do something way more profound, to transform an ordinary, cluttered, distracted mind into a state of pure, focused, awakened awareness.
Now, if you're feeling a little skeptical right about now, hey, you're not alone. But this isn't just folklore. Modern science has actually put Tummo to the test, and honestly, the results are pretty mind-blowing. Let's get into the hard numbers.
Get this, in studies done at Harvard, researchers watched practitioners raise the temperature in their fingers and toes by as much as 17 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, think about that for a second. That's not just a little warmer, that's the difference between frostbite and being perfectly fine. And it's all controlled by the mind.
And what's even crazier is how they do it. Their oxygen consumption, which is a direct measure of your metabolism, shot up by 60%. That's like flooring the gas pedal on your body's furnace without eating a single extra bite of food.
So what all this really means is something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. These practitioners can gain conscious control over systems we've always been told are automatic. They can literally tell their bodies to change their heart rate, their blood pressure, and yeah, their own internal thermostat.
So the big question is, how do they actually pull this off? Well, the practice maps everything onto the body's subtle energy centers, what we call chakras. And these aren't just some mystical idea. They actually line up with major nerve bundles and glands that control our body's functions.
You can kind of think of it like a 4-stage rocket launch inside your body. It all ignites at the navel, that's the furnace. Then the energy is amplified and given direction at the heart. The throat acts as a regulator for the whole system before the entire process is guided by the master controller up in the brain. It's this very precise step-by-step launch of inner energy.
Let's zero in on that starting point. The specific breathing and visualization they use in Tummo directly stimulates that navel area. And what does that do? It kicks the sympathetic nervous system, our fight-or-flight response, into high gear, but in a very controlled way. It's not about panic, it's about generating pure, clean heat. But here's the catch. Just cranking up your stress response to generate heat is only half the story. If you do that, you're just going to burn out. And this brings us to that secret ingredient we mentioned, the one that makes Tummo not just sustainable, but actually healing. And this is the absolute key. Generating that fire without compassion is just stress. It drains you, it leads to burnout. But when you combine that intense fire with a genuine feeling of compassion, which activates the parasympathetic or rest and digest system, you create this beautiful, balanced state. The fire stops being stressful and becomes a source of sustainable healing energy.
You know, Zoran puts it perfectly. This is a universal principle. The emotion you bring to the energy completely changes its effect. Is it going to be destructive or is it going to be transformative? Tummo is really the practice of consciously choosing transformation.
So you're probably thinking, okay, cool for monks in a monastery, but what about me? Well, you don't have to go anywhere to get a little taste of this. You can try a super simple, totally safe version of this practice right now, just to feel that first little spark.
Okay, just get comfortable for a second. I want you to imagine a tiny, warm flame right behind your navel. Now, with every deep breath you take in, just visualize that flame getting a little bit brighter. And with every long, slow breath out, feel that warmth spreading through your belly and up into your chest. It's a simple first step, but it's how you start learning to use your own internal thermostat. At the end of the day, Tummo isn't about showing off or trying to develop some kind of superpower. It's actually about learning to use the incredible biological and neurological tools you were already born with. It's about gaining mastery over your own internal world.
Ultimately, what a practice like this teaches you is that you are not just a victim of your circumstances. Whether that's the cold weather outside, the stressful day at work, or even just your own moods, you have an inner furnace, and it can keep you warm, centered, and energized through any storm. So, the real question is, are you ready to learn how to light it?